Hello, my amazing fellow queens. We are back. I just have to make sure I have my baby monitor turned on. There we go. My little man is snoozing away after our very, very long day. It's like a day that doesn't end yesterday because yesterday was like a 36-hour day because we started at 5 a.m. in Sydney. And well, I started 5 a.m. in Sydney. And then we flew back home where we arrived 3 hours before we left the same day. Yes, I'm a time traveler. So today we are diving into ease and taking the easy street. Hey, Emily, taking it down easy street. There is a powerful mantra that I have been using, especially during traveling. And it's something that I learned from another coach that I have been following. And I really liked her style. And she just said something that was so simple. She said, I'm willing to allow this to be easy. And I took that statement and I really have been meditating on it for like 3 weeks because I am willing to allow this to be easy is a powerful statement. I mean, how often do you ask, could this be easier? Could this be simpler? How can I make this easier? How can I make this project simpler? How can I make my finances easier? How can I make making money easier? Sometimes it comes from a shift from within. And so my mantra has been, I am willing to allow this to be easy. I am willing to know that all that needs to be done will somehow be done itself. And trusting. Now that is a big statement of faith, but it's a big statement. But look at the language of it. I am. That puts it as a part of your identity. Because I am are the two most strongest words in the English language. And ease is a state. And you can access any state, as you know, at any time like that. So how could you allow this to be easier? The thing that allows for ease, for greater sense of ease, is clarity. When you have greater clarity on where you want to go, on what you want to do, on what you want to achieve in your life and in your world, clarity enhances that ability to achieve that ease. So, how to achieve more clarity? Well, number one, make your surroundings organized and uncluttered. And right now, my surroundings, having come back from a trip, I've got suitcases everywhere. I've got mail that I need to go through. I've got like so much stuff, like so many little piles of things around my home that I'm like, So today, that's why today I'm taking that time to be organized and uncluttered and saying, okay, this is the ease that I'm allowing into my life, where I'm allowing this time for this day to be easy and laid back and just getting everything put away and getting all my pieces put together so tomorrow I can jump off and have it be that rocket. So because your external reality will always reflect your internal state. So as you know, something new has to come from externally or internally. It's like the infinity symbol. So you can affect the internal circumstances of your world. You can affect your internal clarity by changing your external reality, like through traveling or through just doing a massive decluttering and putting things away and putting things back where they need to be, which is what I'm going to be doing today. So you can have your internal circumstances reflect externally, and you can change your external circumstances to reflect your new internal reality. So disorganization, what disorganization does, disorganization internally, when you're feeling conflicted, when you're feeling confused, when you're feeling distracted, all of those things contribute to feeling externally conflict, external disorganization. Not necessarily is it mess, though it could be you feel like your schedule's chaotic, or you feel confused by what the next step you need to take. So disorganization not only results in a lack of orderly thinking, but it also results in a lack of actually having those productive results that you want to achieve. So if you need to organize yourself internally, like getting your priorities straight, looking at what's distracting you, looking at where you're confused, like what's the next move that you want to make that you're feeling a little unsure about at this time. Looking at what's distracting you. Maybe it's not necessarily, having a baby next to you like it is with me. Maybe it's having that your partner come in and constantly interrupt you, or having an open door policy in your office, or constantly being on call, or feeling. Sometimes it can be our own feelings. Like yesterday, I was like a crazy person, and I was like, okay, sure, when I fly home, that's what I'm gonna jump on and have some coaching calls. And I did it, I rocked it, and I was exhausted after. But yesterday, one of my clients, I was so proud of her. She realized that the shift that in the belief that she had to automatically, immediately respond to somebody's email was her own belief system, not necessarily the case. And she got an email from her boss, and in the past, she had used to jump on, no matter what she was doing, drop everything that she was doing. And at this moment, she was about to walk into her door and sit down on her couch and start working. But in the past, she used to stop everything she was doing, including walking into her own home, and answer the email from her boss. But this, she allowed herself more ease. She had the clarity of thinking and the ability to know that her focus at this time was just to get inside her house, just to get inside her air-conditioned home. And then when she settled on the couch, which would be in 3 minutes from that moment, she would answer and respond to her boss. And I asked her, I said, how did this make you feel? Obviously, my English today is still like fluctuating because of fatigue. So bear with me. But I asked her, I said, how did this make you feel? How did knowing that you could have some more ease, like allowing yourself 3 minutes of ease to just focus on getting finished what you were doing and then responding, like getting finished going into your home and putting down your groceries and then sitting on the couch, getting that finished before you respond. She goes, I just felt so much more peace. I felt so much more ease. So you want to look at in your life and look at what the stressors are. Like stressors, like it could be an outside stressor of you have a boss that's like, you must answer my email immediately. That's not my client's boss. Or it could be an internal stressor where you feel you have to respond immediately. Your belief system says, I have to respond immediately. Like this was my belief system back when I owned my first virtual company. My first virtual company, I thought that I had to respond to every single email at the drop of a hat because it came from such a place of scarcity, such a place of fear, that I wouldn't be able to achieve I wouldn't save this customer, I wouldn't be able to help this customer, I wouldn't serve this customer, I wouldn't get this customer to buy or whatever. So I would be answering emails at all hours of the night, and I was absolutely exhausted. And I had to look at the stressors, and I'm like, okay, is it really that big of a difference if I answer at 5 a.m. instead of at 4 a.m.? Like, is it really that big of a stressor if I get back to the customer within 24 hours, or if I get back to the customer within 2, if I was traveling? So looking at the stressors of your life, sometimes it can be an internal stressor, like a belief system that you have, and sometimes it can be an external stressor. So sometimes it can be like like my home is right now, which is incredibly disorganized. I have bags everywhere and piles everywhere. So that's the stressor that I'm dealing with today. Is a stressor the way that you think about things? Is a stressor the way that you immediately shift to the negative, and that's your natural tendency? So shifting, going back to, how do I train my brain to think about the positive? How do I train my brain to find the joy in this situation, even if it's a situation of struggle? How do I train my brain to, what can I be grateful for? Also, is there someone in your position who has the clarity that you crave? Is there somebody who is doing what you want to do, who has the peace, who has the family, who has all of the things that you want to achieve? If so, find them and model them. So modeling, it's not just about like, oh, they did A, B, and C. That's not modeling. Modeling, that's following, cooking instructions. Modeling is actually looking into the belief system. It's looking into how they carry themselves physiologically, how they move into what they're doing. How do they think about a problem? What do they believe when they face a struggle, when they have a problem? What specifically do they do? And sometimes that specificity comes down to the thoughts that go on in that person's head before they take action. What do they do when they are facing hardship or struggle? So look at what specifically, if you're looking at the stressors, look at what specifically is causing you those stress. Is it the tiny distractions? Is it negative Nellies? Is it something that's pulling you? What is pulling you away from your goals? And on the topic of negative Nellies, be sure that in order to get greater clarity, you gotta ditch the negative Nellies. Like, negative people, while you can love them and you can love them from afar, and I'm not saying you have to curtail all relationships, I am saying that you want to minimize the amount of time that you spend with people. While I was on the plane, I got to enjoy 5 hours, no, not more than 5 hours, 10 hours of movies, something I never do. I did like a full binge watch of 5 different movies, all amazing. And one of the movies I watched was Molly's Game. Fascinating film. Very, very fascinating, about the poker princess. And it's an autobiographical. I love autobiographical stories of women, and it's so interesting. One of the things about Molly's Game was Molly was a professional Olympian skier. And there was a scene, a flashback scene, where she was being trained by her father, and her father said, always look up. If you look down, you're going to trip over your skis. Always look up. Now, I didn't know this about mogul skiing, but mogul skiing, you're skiing down a slope that is like you're skiing down. It's the same angle as if you were skiing down the Great Pyramids. And suddenly my respect for mogul skiers went up tenfold. So when I heard that, when I heard her father, played by Kevin Costner, say that, it really made me take a second and say, okay, always look up. If you look down, you're going to trip over your skis. Who is causing you in your life to look down? Sometimes that can be ourselves. Sometimes that can be ourselves focusing on what we don't want. I don't want to trip. I don't want to trip over my skis. I don't want to fall. But as soon as you look down, you lose your gaze, and your attention goes where your eyes go. I mean, when you're running, and it made so much sense when I heard that, because when you're running a marathon, you're not looking down at your feet. You're not really looking down. You're looking ahead of you at like what's 20 steps ahead of you, and you already know intrinsically in your body that curb or that bump in the road is coming up. So intrinsically, okay, in about 20 steps, I'm going to be taking a slightly longer stride. But who in your reality, who are the negative Nellies in your world who are saying, but look down and look at reality. Look at reality. And yet, if you look at reality of mogul skiers, when they're looking up and forward, they're able to ski down something that is the angle of the Great Pyramid. I'm like, what? That's crazy and awesome, because they are able to do it. But if they kept looking down, they wouldn't be able to. So who is causing you instead to look forward, to look up, to look ahead? Who is causing you to feel confused and question what you really want? That's another aspect of looking down. Sometimes that can come from ourselves. Sometimes that can come from our friends or our family. But who is causing you to question what you really want? Because that is looking down. Next, if you want greater clarity, you got to follow a regular routine. That means your morning routine's got to be on point. The thing that throws most of my clients off of their game, and this happened when I was teaching Pilates, just waiting, make sure Declan is still sleeping. He is so sleepy right now. So I'm just making sure that he is still asleep. The thing that throws most of my clients off their game is when they get off of their routine. So like yesterday, even though it was the longest day in history for me, like yesterday, it was a 36-hour day. Literally, it was actually 36 hours because I traveled back in time. And so, but at 5 a.m. in Sydney, I was at the gym by 5:15, and I was working out with all the business dudes in the business district of the hotel that we were staying, and I was getting my run on, and I was doing my Pilates, and I was feeling good. And I knew that I had to do that in order to sustain my energy, my attention level for a 36-hour flight, or not a 36-hour flight, a 36-hour day, and a 13, 14-hour flight. And staying on my workouts has been a key element of me, especially while traveling, to maintain my energy. Same with taking my supplements. When I ran out of vitamin C a few days ago, I'm like, I feel it. I got that Amazon order like coming in now, because I take about 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C every single day. And when I don't, I feel a massive drain in my energy. So when I'm not on my supplement game, when I'm not hydrating myself, when I was on the plane, I asked a flight attendant, I said, am I the person who's here drinking the most water? Speaking of which. And he said, well, yeah, I've seen you more often than most. And I was like, yes, because one of the things that I do to keep my energy level up is drinking water. Now, as you can tell by my voice is quite tired, and I'm still a bit fatigued from the time shifts and everything. But I take specific steps, specific things in my routine that I know physiologically give me more energy, that I know that if I have my water, if I have my rest, if I have my organized surroundings, if I am still doing my workouts every day, then those things that are on my routine, I still feel like I'm in it to win it. So look at the day. Look at what you need to do to get organized, to get prioritized, and to remove the distractions. When you remove the distractions, you organize your external reality, you create a lot more of internal clarity and space. The same is true internally as it is externally. So as you clear out any of the junk, any of the things that you don't think you need in your life anymore that aren't serving you, any belief systems in your life that are confusing you, that are causing you to look down instead of look forward and ahead at what you actually want to achieve. That was one of the biggest lessons that this trip to Australia taught us. It was a total manifesting, amazing trip. Like toward the end, we were like on our manifesting game, because we kept looking forward. And anytime we had doubt, this is what I will teach to you today. Specifically, when you have doubt, when you feel like you yourself are causing you to look down rather than somebody else, but if you're causing yourself to look down or to doubt or to fear, this action, take it from your mind, push it out, remove it. Physically add that physical anchor to remove that doubt. and send that doubt away because it does not belong in your mind. When you're caught feeling yourself, doubting yourself, take that anchor, use a physical, and the reason why that kinesthetic resource anchor is so key to changing your state. So when we would have doubt, when we manifested our car upgrades, we manifested getting this amazing little full kitchen apartment in Melbourne at this country club that we were staying at that had no Wi-Fi. But we manifested this amazing apartment, which everybody up to the day that we were going to get there said, no, we don't have any apartments available. You have to stay in a small room. And I was like, no, there's going to be an apartment available. And so we got the apartment. And same with our flight. Like, we got a seat in between us on the flight back so Declan could have a space to sleep and Mama could relax. And so, but anytime we felt any sort of doubt, we did the anchor to send the doubt away because it didn't belong. It was getting in the way of our game, focusing on forward. So keep focusing forward, get organized, get prioritized, remove the distractions from your world. And if there are no questions, then continue, my fellow queens, own your throne, mind your business, and make it rain.
For more info on how to create a body, business, and life that rules, visit crownyourself.com.